Welcome back to Firearms. We're continuing the G36 project here in episode 3, I believe. So we've got it to where now this lines up pretty dang well with everything here. But we need a way to secure the front end of it before we can slurry it together. And the way I've decided to do that, because I couldn't do it in the last episode, I did some math. I measured from the inside of this first hole right here. I measured the diameter, and then I calculated out what the radius of it was, and then calculated how far from the front edge of this hole to where it comes even, or it comes flush with this. And based on my math, we're looking at just shy of 5 millimeters. It's 4.95 from what I can tell. So I've already got my mark right here. Let's get eyes and ears on. I know it's just for a basic drill, but again, safety first. Now, what you're going to notice is I'm not going to be drilling directly the appropriate size hole, 9/64. Instead, I am doing a significantly smaller bit just to get my pilot, 5/64. In worst case scenario, if you mess up and you don't get it perfectly straight, we can always add a little slurry and fill the hole back in. So it's not do or die if you mess up. But try and look from all angles, see if you're straight, or as straight as you're going to get. And then slowly let it go down. Keep it going as you put it back up. Remove that extra material. Now we got a pilot hole that we can then use to look down and see if we can see clear through. If you can't see going down, put the light where you can see it coming up. And we're looking good so far. So let's change this bit out for the correct one. If you want to go slower than that and slowly make your way up, be my guest. Ain't no harm in doing it that way either. Now, if you're just a hair off center, it's not the end of the world either. Because remember, we do have to make a conical shape. But still try and look as centered as you can get it. This is going to go significantly faster through. just because we pre-drilled. Back up. Looks like there's some stuff still in the way. Let's flip it over, take a look at it from the other side, as that goes flying. Yep, I got a little bit of material still left in there. There we go. Looks like I was off actually. Oh, math can be a bit tricky. Isn't there an old saying something like, if you try to shoot for doing it right on the first try, expect to fail? Yeah, wow. That'll be the example here. We'll just go up a size. Like I said, because it won't hurt anything to go up, because we can just fill the hole back in with the slurry while the screw is in it. If anything, it might make it more rigid, because then the screw's threads will have something to bite on. So oh, didn't have it tight enough. There we go. Or maybe this drill's just old. Could very easily be that. use my screwdriver a little bit like a deburr tool. So, still not quite there yet. So what we're going to do use this and pull straight back in. Well, we might have it here. Since I can't reach it with the 3/4, I do have 1 1/4 backup. let's do a little test fit. Yeah. Oh yeah, that closed up those gaps real nice. Even with just this small amount of support, you know, a lot of people get really concerned about doing this job because they are so concerned about cutting and reforming these two things back together. I really don't think that you have to worry about it. I mean, if you don't have one of these little plates to go with this particular stock block, you can just use 1/8 inch thick by 1/2 inch wide, just some basic steel, and you'll have to cut your groove a little bit wider on the inside, but you know, or you can cut this and shape it, either or. I mean, you're going to need to get it anyway so that you can do the magazine well and, you know, reinforce it. So, but yeah, let's get that groove or the conical shape cut into it. And for this, you can just unscrew this. I'm sure some of y'all are going to be like, why are you using a hand tool instead of that drill that you were just using a few seconds ago to drill the hole? Well, I don't feel like changing out that bit. I mean, what, am I not pretty enough for you guys? Anyway, almost got it out. And then that 3/4 screw should be long enough to get down in there. There we go. Get ready to use our Dremel tool again. Gonna put it on low speed setting. Okay. almost flush. And it worked. I'm going to take a little more off just so I can get it flush. I think that'll just about do that. Now we're sitting nice and flush right there. So now whenever we go to use the slurry to fill this all in, we're going to have a nice, tight, and more importantly is how straight these rails are. Because it does you no good to do all this if the rails don't line up, which is partially the reason why I insisted on getting all of this done, so that the rails would line up. But yeah, I still got about 5 minutes left, so let's set this aside for a moment and let's cut this apart and try and get that serial number out. So we got it secured in here. It ain't got to be perfect. Just need to get it to where you can look at the back side. So it looks like when they injection molded all this, they had a spot already set out just for the metal. So realistically, we just need to cut in just a few spots and it should go free. Oh, isn't arts and crafts time just so much fun? So relaxing. Actually, let's get this a little extra, because there's a piece of plastic back here. here's about where it's going to get tricky, because we actually have to cut through the metal on this part. Got to make sure you get your money's worth out of these blades. Alright, so we got it cut down. Little warm. I think on the next episode we'll get it cleaned up and see how it fits in where it's supposed to go. So until then, have a good day.